Happy Friday, friends. Hi everybody. I'm so sorry about the delay in getting started with this episode of 5 Minute-ish Friday. Technical difficulties. I think Zoom must be having such a crazy overload of people trying to use the technology right now, with all of us moving over into that kind of digital platform. So welcome to episode number 42 of 5 Minute-ish Friday. I'm Casey McCoy, and I wish that Kara Alexander could be on here with me right now, but we couldn't get our technology to work correctly with us. So last week, if you saw, we had some issues with our other platform, and so we've moved over to this one, and it is not working today, so I'm sorry about that. I see, Kara, that you're watching. So Kara's gonna just join in here and share in the comments. So this is a live Q&A session. We have been having all kinds of questions from our business friends about everything from websites to social media and everything in between. And we're just trying to help people kind of make any kind of pivot they can and stay relevant and present in the social world and keep their business afloat during this time. So we are here today to talk to you about whatever is on your mind. So shoot us a question in the comments, and Carol will be fielding those comments for us, and I will see them here on the screen as well, and we will just run with it. So hi, Tim. Thanks for your patience. I don't know if you've been sitting here waiting for a while, but we definitely had some glitches with technology, and hopefully we'll get those figured out before next time. But I think there's just like such a huge overload of people trying to use these different platforms. So gotta do the best we can with what we've got, and that's what we're here to do. So if anyone has questions, drop them in the comments below. Whatever it is, if it's your website, if it's social media, emails, blogging, copywriting, graphic design, logos, brand identity, SEO, anything in that world, we're happy to jump in and give you some kind of helpful advice. If we don't know the answer, we will just be a resource and be as resourceful as possible, and we will figure it out. Tim says, no problem, I'm just worried that I missed it. You didn't! We did! No. We were sitting on the back end going like, okay. It was just that circle of death thing, you know? So it was like a black screen and just the slow, supposedly it was connecting, but obviously not. So anyway, let's get into the good stuff. We did have a couple of questions that were submitted ahead of time. So if you've got some kind of question, getting people involved with a business launch during the shutdown. Yeah, so I know, Tim, especially with your organization, congratulations, by the way, on your building and the space and everything. I know that that was a huge step, and I'm really excited for you guys to get through all of this and get back into a time when families can come out and enjoy that and take advantage of the awesome entertainment and activities that you're going to provide for them. So getting people involved with a business launch during the shutdown, well, you have, number one, you have a captive audience right now. So that's in your favor. And I think really for you, I would be sharing just kind of those behind the scenes and using that as an opportunity to kind of build up the hype a little bit more about what you're gonna do. Because you gotta think that whenever, we don't know when this is all gonna be said and done, right? But whenever that day does come, people are gonna be so stoked to get out of their houses and go do all kinds of activities and partake in an array of entertainment options. So I think this is your time right now to be kind of just making sure that people are seeing the behind the scenes, all the things you're doing to prepare and plan and, you know, really get that up and running and ready for all of that. So I think any way you can share that insight is a good thing. So does that answer your question? Or do you need something more specific? Let me know in the comments again. So we did have a couple of little comments shared beforehand, so I'll answer some of those in the meantime. Yes, they will be. Yeah, I know that, like, already, you know, just after a few weeks, we're all kind of like, huh, I really need out of this house. I mean, like, last Sunday, me and my husband just went and drove around in the country with the windows down because it was a pretty day out. And we're like, hey, social distancing. We're not like putting ourselves or anyone we know in danger, but we're just out, you know, trying to entertain ourselves. It reminded me of growing up back home in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, where we went boonie cruising. That was our entertainment because there was nothing going on there. So, oh, hi, Megan. Yay, Megan's watching. So that's really what I was kind of thinking for those businesses that have families as their audience, or anyone who, I mean, really anyone who's in the entertainment industry. I know you're really hurting right now, especially if you're planning to open up and have a grand opening and a launch and all of that. So if you can just try and figure out ways to use, you know, create some content of, you know, taking a tour of that new space, or, you know, like when you signed the lease for the space, or like do little videos and stuff like that. Trying to navigate as a nonprofit how to best do the fundraising events. Yes, so fundraising, that actually has come up a lot recently with our clients. We do work with a lot of nonprofits, so I know for a lot of nonprofits, this is such a huge, crucial time for so many of them to do the bulk of their fundraising for the year. And now, you know, it's really challenging because you know so many people are struggling and there's just such an uncertainty in the air. How do you put yourself out there and keep your nonprofit afloat without feeling bad about asking for help too, when everybody really needs help right now? I think that is, okay, events we'd plan in the short term in a virtual manner and build excitement for that as well. Yeah, so if there's any kind of event or fundraiser, there's all kinds of platforms for online fundraising. So I was thinking about it earlier and I was like, well, what if a bunch of local artists of all kinds, like whether they're singers or they're in bands, or, you know, you can play music, or you can be, if you're a stand-up comedian, whatever. What if we got like a collective of people to all perform on like one big Zoom, like at-home concert, and you know, people could go onto some platform and give a tip or whatever, and then it got divvied back out to those different people in those industries or to a certain nonprofit. We just have to get a little crafty with it, right? So I think if you can still host an event, silent auctions, there are still ways to run those online. We used to use them in my family readiness group. We did a silent auction years ago, it's probably been about 8 years since I've worked with anything like that, but there are some really good platforms and tools. Just a quick Google search and you'll probably find some good information about, you know, whatever kinds of fundraisers you're doing, how to take them into a virtual space. Hi Janelle, thanks for watching. Hi Shizuka. All right, so we're kind of talking about different ways. So Tim has a nonprofit and he's getting ready to launch and open. And so he's asking for ideas of how to take his fundraisers to a digital platform. So Tim, if you can give me a little more detail about what those fundraisers look like, I can maybe give you some even better ideas. I know those were just kind of general, just shooting off the hip here. And what's in my head, I literally like wrote that down, that benefit concert thing in my notes earlier to this morning, because I was like, oh my gosh, I know so many people who are in the arts that are really hurting right now. So like, what if a local theater, I don't know, like, I know it wouldn't have the same effect, but it would be such an interesting thing to see of like people acting, and it would be like on a big live Zoom chat or something. I don't know, there's got to be a way. Really need to schedule that consult. Do it. So yeah, we'll get some like more in-depth questions here. A question we had earlier this week was about Google My Business, so this is a quick one to answer real fast. I think, so the question was, is there a way, because we were talking about in one of our past Fridays about how we can all support each other in business right now, and you know, maybe it's just taking some time to leave a recommendation or write a Google review, or if we would like to ask our friends, if we have like a collective of people who we could all pass around our Google My Business profiles to, and then go and leave reviews for each other. I think that would be super cool. But one of the questions that popped up was like, well, how do I even find that public URL to my Google My Business? So it's really simple. So if you're logged in on your desktop or your laptop to Google My Business, scroll down, and in the center to the left of the screen a little bit, you'll go down and you'll see share your business, and there's like a little like share icon. Click on that, open that up, and it gives you the URL. You hit the copy button, and you can copy and paste that all over the world and give that to whoever you might want to share your information with. Hi Jen, thanks for watching. So I know Kara had some questions submitted to her as well. Hey Jims, thanks for joining. We are talking about all kinds of Q&A, so whatever the topic is, just want to reiterate that websites, social media, email marketing, blogging, graphic design, brand identity, SEO, throw them at us. So I'm here live. Kara is in the comments because we had technological issues, unfortunately. So she is in there, and she is fielding questions and answering some stuff too. So I know one of the things that Kara came up with, or was brought to her in her Instagram stories, because we asked in all kinds of different places for people to submit questions to us ahead of time. And one of the questions she got was, well, when you're at home, you know, what are you doing to take pictures and create content, and what are some of the things and tools you're using? So we have some ideas on how to get crafty with that as well. And another question Kara got was, what apps are you using to create content right now? So she is going to comment and answer those in the comment section, and she'll give you all kinds of good resources and ideas. But I know that for us, we've been doing these videos for a long time, and sometimes we do them from home. But even when our office, we're using different tools. Like, we just have to look at a few different things. Like, lighting is important. You want your videos to be nice and bright. So if you are doing something like that, maybe just making sure that you have the blinds open for the natural light to come in on your face, not from behind you or from your side, because that'll create shadows. I'm currently using a ginormous 18-inch ring light, and that is what I use all the time. And we use this for like product photos and all kinds of fun stuff as well. Kara also has another ring light that's much smaller. I think it's an 8-inch ring light that can fold all up, and she can take it around from room to room really easily. And you know, if you're taking pictures, if you need to like take flat lays or anything of that nature, or you just like need some that are on a nice background, anything like a blanket, a tabletop, a cutting board, some nice backsplash that's maybe in your kitchen, or maybe the countertops in your bathroom are really pretty. Just, people will never know that it was a kitchen counter if you don't tell them. So, you know, like, there are certain spots in your house that probably have some great possibilities and potential. Thanks, Janelle. So I appreciate that. You're very sweet. Hey, Jessie, thanks for watching. So those were some questions that Kara got thrown her way. Another one that I got was, can you do a Canva workshop pretty please soon? So I did a workshop for BizConnect on Tuesday, and it was customer personas. So I'm actually gonna talk to Laura. I know Laura's not watching right now, but I'm gonna talk to Laura and see if we can do a Canva one this month. So hopefully she'll be up for hosting that. Maybe if I put it out here and people comment and they're like, oh, well, we'll attend that, maybe we'll make it happen. Another question that I got was, so everyone's trying to pivot and move to all of these different online platforms. And if you've ever thought about doing an e-course or something of that nature, everybody's like, oh, this is the perfect time to dig in and make it happen, right? So I have gotten the question here recently about what platforms to use, or if there are any that I recommend. My number one, if you want to do e-courses, is called Kajabi. I know it from the back end and I know it from the user perspective, and it's really nice and easy to use. It's probably one of the easiest to use, and it looks really pretty from the user end, and it's really simple for users to navigate. So Kajabi is number one. I also like Teachable. Teachable is really good too. Just another option. You know, those are my top two probably. There's a ton out there. If you're just doing videos, you could just record with like Zoom and save the recordings, and then put those in a private Facebook group or something like that if you wanted to go to a platform that wasn't a paid platform, because Kajabi is pricey, I think. I mean, maybe it's not pricey for a lot of other people, but there are some good options out there. So those are a couple, but if you need more, I'll be happy to chat with you. Just let me know in the comments. We also had a question submitted about any recommendations for growing a Facebook group. Absolutely. So this came from someone who has had a Facebook group for a little while, but hasn't really put a lot of focus on it. And now that, everything in person has kind of shut down, they're like, oh, I need to give some more love to this group that I have. So my tips for growing a Facebook group would to be, first of all, use it to foster genuine relationships. And to do that, you have to show up consistently, and you have to provide some value. This is not an opportunity for you to throw your sales and your advertisements in someone's face just because they're captive in a group. If you want to create a really successful Facebook group, you need to really curate that very thoughtfully. So also you want to share it in all the places. So think about other groups. So if you have a really niche Facebook group, like Janelle, I know you have your Blossoms and Brushes. So if you wanted to grow that group, maybe looking at some really large creative groups like the Rising Tide, I mean, some of those kinds of things, or women helping women entrepreneurs. There's a hashtag She Means Business. There are so many good groups out there where you can share your group, that it wouldn't be unprofessional or competitive by any means. You also maybe want to think about getting yourself a spot on someone's blog as a guest blog or a podcast. Podcast interviews are great ways to share whatever is current in your business, or what you're trying to grow, or what kind of community you're trying to grow. So, and also my biggest tip with Facebook groups and growing them, if you really just want this massive group, the name matters. So you've got to think about what people are searching for and what kind of information they're seeking. So think about the kinds of keywords that you can put in your Facebook group. So if I am, if I'm looking for safety, with everything that's going on right now, there was a bunch of stuff in the news about Zoom meetings getting hacked and people showing up and like with inappropriate images and stuff going on. People really need to get a real hobby, but that's a concern right now. So, so maybe thinking of if I had a platform of, online safety, maybe not calling it whatever my business name is, but calling it, online safety tips and advice, support or something like that. Like think of words that people are using to search for those resources. And yeah, and then that's really, really important because if you want to really grow your group, it has to be searchable. And I mean, like Janelle, your group, Blossoms and Brushes, that's a beautiful name. And it's a very niche thing. So I wouldn't be so worried about that. But if you are looking to start a new group or you have something that's not quite so niche, you want to expand your audience, think about the name. Hi, Carol. Thanks for watching. So what other questions do you have for us? Happy. Kara's putting in lots of good resources in the comments here. So do you have questions about websites? Do you have questions about your emails? Do you have questions about social media? Anything? I'm here to answer. I'm happy to stay on for a few more minutes and continue to answer some questions. I do know one that came up as a topic in a workshop earlier this week. So it was, I just lost my train of thought. I'm looking for a texting app for my clients. To send out some kind of like text correspondence. And should you use keywords in the post title? Yes. So Janelle, your question about keywords in the post title. Yes. Big resounding yes to that. Carol, I'm looking for a texting app for my clients. I've done some research on this in the past for a couple of nonprofits. So I've found different options that are just for nonprofits. But off the top of my head, 40% for an open rate for your emails is amazing though. That's a really good open rate, actually. Really, really good. I think there's probably some good options. I don't know, Kara, if you can go do a little searching and put something in the comments, that would be awesome. I don't know any off the top of my head, but I will come back and put some in the comments later if I can. Carol, hello, yeah. Texting, that's the thing is emails, as we said a couple weeks ago in our Friday, it's like I've heard from every company under the sun that I forgot existed or didn't even know existed. I don't know how they got my email since this whole crisis has started. So emails are definitely a dime a dozen these days. So texting is good. It does have a really high open and response rate. I think texts have like a 95 or 96% open rate. It's a whole nother opt-in that's required, and there's a bunch of legalities with that and stuff. But there are plenty of great options. Please compare to Haymarket. Haymarket? Compare what to Haymarket? What am I comparing? And what is Haymarket? I should probably know that. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, am I uneducated? What is happening? And Janelle says that's a really awesome open rate, 20%. It is really, 40% is really great. Hi, Andy. Andy, I miss Andy. I miss Andy hugs. When you said that at BizConnect, on the BizConnect meetup this morning about missing hugging everyone, I was like, I miss my Andy hugs. Carol says, well, if you're gonna do any research on apps, I've looked at Haymarket and I'm trying to compare to that one. Oh, okay. So it's a text app. Cool. I will definitely look into that. Andy, do you have any questions? I know you just jumped on. I know that your corporate does a lot of marketing. So what's Freedom Boat Club corporate doing for marketing right now? I mean, you guys are still open, right? So that's something that a lot of people are probably jealous of. And I know you're getting ready for that big grand opening in East Beach. So what are you guys doing right now? Fill me in, comment away. But other than that, you know, we've done a lot of, I'll just kind of blabber while I'm waiting for more questions to roll in. We've done a lot of just trying to help everyone that we know kind of pivot to this digital platform and bring their business online a bit more here recently. And we've seen a lot of creativity with that, a lot of really good innovation. And I've seen some really cool stuff pop up. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a tipping platform. And so it's for anyone in the service industry. So if you know anyone who works in a restaurant or who is like a hairstylist or, I mean, anything like that, that normally receives a tip as part of their compensation, tell them about this platform. I will share the link in the comments. After this video is done, I will share the link. And so you can go on and it randomly pulls up a name. So you like go to your locality. So here, there's one here in the Hampton Roads region, and you pull it up and it automatically pops up with a person's name and where they work. And you can Venmo or Cash App them some money. So it's like every time if you like have a beer or have a glass of wine or something or make a drink at home now, it's like every time you do that, you're supposed to go on there and then leave a tip, just as you would if you were actually out in a public venue consuming those beverages. So I think that's super cool. And so I would just really encourage everyone to use things like that and support each other right now. And Carol, it might be something for you to put yourself on there. I sent it off to my hairstylist and told her to go on there because she cannot do anything until June. So just trying to think of like some different creative ways to keep things moving and support each other where we can. Oh, is Matt Beach watching? Hi, Matt Beach. So what else? We've seen some of our friends do like giveaways where they have not given away a service but went and purchased, so they're still doing well. So if there's anyone you can support like in a small business, or you know, we've loved watching some videos where they're doing like split screens with other providers and vendors of theirs. Kristen from Smile was talking to me earlier this week about how they are going to do some just kind of posts and content sharing information about their local, like their sponsors, those companies and organizations who are always providing and helping them so that they can give back to them right now. And I thought that was brilliant. Any way we can like come together and kumbaya it a little bit is a good idea right now. I think we all need it. Yeah, Carol, so I'll share the link in there where you can submit your information to that tipping platform, because every little bit helps. So like it randomly pops up, you don't choose the person, it randomly pops up and then you click over to their Venmo profile and you send them some money. And I'm like, that's so smart and so thoughtful. So Kara commented and said, do a video maybe of at-home care. Oh, so Carol's been doing some great videos. And they've been in the middle of the day. I saw one the other day that I was like, oh, I want to jump on that, but I had another virtual meeting, so I couldn't. But Carol has been doing some really cool videos. I know you did a like make your own toner at home kind of thing the other day, right? And then our friends Sharon and Jenna at Daisy Blue tonight, they're doing a happy hour, a virtual happy hour on their Facebook page, and they're doing how to make a face mask with whatever you've got from home. So I don't know what random objects they're going to be pulling out. I mean, it might be a sock, it might be, I have no idea what to expect, but I'm sure it's going to be a good time. So, yeah, I mean, any way you can be a resource is a great idea right now. So what can you share? What insight can you give? And how can you lift people up? Our client Taylor has started a group on Facebook called the Good News Group. We can share that link in the comments as well. And it's all positive news in there. So she did a really good informative video this morning that I watched. I had like a half an hour in between things this morning. I have so many appointments today. But I had a little brief moment and I just timed it so I could jump on Taylor's live, and she was talking about how she doesn't want people to be to put their head in the sand about what's going on in the world, but there's so much negative in the news right now. So she has created this space, and she's a social worker, and she's working on her master's in political science with an emphasis in human rights. So this is just straight from her heart. Like, this is what she cares about most in the world. And so she's put this platform where people can just share good, happy news. And it's so beautiful. And people are sharing like the cutest little videos and links and stories and things. So look for that group. Janelle said, are evenings a good time to go live now? Yes. I think evenings are a great time. Honestly, this space, the online space, is just a lot more crowded than it normally is. Because we're all a lot of people are shifting into this, especially the live streaming capabilities. And I think that you have to know when your audience is ready to consume, especially like what kind of content that you're sharing. So we do ours live during the middle of the day. It's business related, but it's on a Friday because like it's a little more we're a little more casual about it. Where, you know, we can be a little goofy about it. So we pick this day and time very strategically of like, it's the end of the week. People are ready to relax, but they also want to have some fun conversations. So just trying to make it fun and interesting. If you're a little bit later in the evening, you know, especially if you're targeting those people with kids, and that kind of things, or families, so they can get the kiddos, little ones, off to bed and then sit down and have some me time and watch those videos. So I think evenings great, especially for that kind of crowd. Carol, I know that's a lot of your audience, and thanks for all the hearts that you're throwing away right now. Appreciate it. I feel weird going live without Kara. I really do. I'm so accustomed. I started these videos before they were called 5 Minute Fri YAY, and I started just doing videos a long time ago and by myself. And obviously I'm a talker, so I can talk by myself for a while and it's okay. And then every once in a while I'm just like, I'm standing in my dining room talking to myself right now. So everyone has that, and that's what I want to share with you. It's like everybody's asking those kinds of questions too about, you know, how do you keep the conversation flowing? How do you remember your bullet points? Yeah, I cheat. Yeah. Okay. Normally in the office, we have a marker board, and I would have bullet points behind my camera with what my talking points should be. So today I ran out of paper. So my points are on a flimsy piece of cardboard off the back of a notepad, but it works. So, you know, like you have to plan ahead a little bit. Alive is alive, and it should be genuine, and it should be like a conversational tone, and you should just flow with everything. But you do want to stay on track. I know that I am ADHD, so I get a little squirrely. So that's why I have my notes and have something prepared, because otherwise I don't even know what we were talking about. It would probably just be so random and all over the place if I didn't do that. So you have to do what's comfortable for you and what eases your anxiety about going live or doing videos. I'm so proud. I'm just gonna give one more shout out to Sharon Dilfos from Daisy Blue and Camellia Blue, because she was like, I know you've been saying it for a while, I should do a video. You know, and it's not comfortable. Even for me, as extroverted as I am, I feel silly standing here talking to you in my dining room by myself. I mean, we're having a conversation. There's a bunch of comments here. That's great. You're giving me feedback with all the little emoji reactions. So that's cool. That's validating for sure. But it's, I think it feels a little unnatural and strange from this point of view, from the live streamer point of view. So just set yourself up with some different tricks and tips here and do what you have to do to make it as easy and seamless and comfortable as humanly possible. So what other questions? Are there any other questions? I'm probably gonna jump off here. I've been talking for a long time, but I'm probably gonna jump off of here in a little bit if you don't have anything else, because those were all the questions that were submitted to us ahead of time. But I just want to thank you all for joining me today for this live. I hope you found it helpful. And if you have, then come back next week. And we'll have a set topic that will be announced ahead of time. So, but always just jump on, ask any question. I mean, whatever you've got. Marketing, design. I don't know everything, but I will find you answers. So that's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was lovely. Y'all are great, and I appreciate your attention. Stay safe, stay healthy, and let me know if there's anything that we can do to help you out right now. Have a great weekend, guys.